What I promised, I delivered. My brother, my senior brother, Soludo, promised Dubai, Taiwan. So until Anambra becomes that, because you must stick to what you promise. When Anambra is now Dubai, Taiwan, he has achieved his purpose. I didn't promise that. What I promised, I delivered. And that's what I'm thinking about, what I'm talking. When I was talking about being president, I was saying things that is deliverable. That I'm going to do this in the north. We're going to make sure we'll go to the north and turn around the uncultivated land, do this. I wasn't really, I had what I wanted to do, and I would have started from day one and show the direction. That's how it works. So it's about the people. You go to the people. Whenever I do assessment about governance, I talk to the people. It is not about anything. You could see it. You got the people feel the comments of the people. Governance, Charles, is about the people. That's why whenever you ask me questions, I say, go to the people. It's how the people feel. When you ask me about Anambra State, I say, go to the people. Or Charles, I invite you in Anambra State. Let me walk the streets of Anambra State, and you see how the people will tell. You know, it doesn't hurt me. It's a personal assessment. It's just personal to him. And like I said, Charles, all these things that happened, I don't want to make comment about them, because what we are talking now is the present position. Is Gary cheaper?
Yeah, but those kinds of comments are damaging to you. No. He's saying these things, and
if it will make Gary, yam cheaper, fine with me.
Right.
If it's going to help in managing the whole corruption we pass into, fine with me. Let's deal with the issues of the president. Whenever people are talking, this person said, Charles, I don't do politics of he said, she said. No. Let's deal with the issues. We have a problem. We have a big problem. Look at what everyone has said. That those who are going to be hungry in Nigeria have increased. We have young people. Look at what UNICEF released the other day. So we have bad results all over the place. That's what we should focus. Not whether Peter Obi's fit or not. Charles, I'm fit to be a president of Nigeria. I'm competent. I can tell you that. Put me in line with the other people who are competing in terms of education, in terms of fitness, in terms of background. I can stand tall against them.
Well, you talked about the state, so let me bring one more issue about these sort of personal things before we move on. Let's look at another person who's taken aim at you, and that's the special advisor to the governor of Anambra State, Dr. Alex Obi'S. You, of course, governed Anambra State for 8 years, and he says that in 2 years of Charles Soludo as governor, Mr. Soludo has achieved more than your 8 years in office. In other words, 2 years of Soludo is better than 8 years Obi. What's your response?
Well, again, Charles, I don't like talking about issues like this. But because you mentioned it, let me tell you, Charles, let people go and look at my electoral promises to the people of Anambra State. Education, health, pulling people out of poverty, making sure there's access to rural areas. And I can tell you, they were the measures of MDG, and I was number one. I was number one in education. I was there in health. I was there in pulling people. Go and ask those who ran Office of Poverty Alleviation, like Professor Dr. Mackel, and everything. Go and ask Samsudin. I was number one. What I promised, I delivered.
I have to be fair. I saw that the evidence of that online in terms of those I think the European Union and all the rest.
Everybody.
So I give that. And above all, was number one.
Finished it and was able to even left a savings subnational savings for the first time in Nigeria for future generation. Nobody had ever done that. What I promised, I delivered. My brother, my senior brother, Soludo, promised Dubai, Taiwan. So until Anambra becomes that, because you must stick to what you promise. When Anambra is now Dubai, Taiwan, he has achieved his purpose. I didn't promise that. What I promised, I delivered. And that's what I'm thinking about, what I'm talking. When I was talking about being president, I was saying things that is deliverable. That I'm going to do this in the north. We're going to make sure we'll go to the north and turn around the uncultivated land, do this. I wasn't really, I had what I wanted to do, and I would have started from day one and show the direction. That's how it works. So you know, it's about the people. You go to the people. Whenever I do assessment about governance, I talk to the people. It is not about anything. You could see it. You got the people feel the comments of the people. Governance, Charles, is about the people. That's why whenever you ask me questions, I say go to the people. It's how the people feel. When you ask me about Anambra State, I say go to the people. Or Charles, I invite you in Anambra State. Let me walk the streets of Anambra State, and you see how the people will tell. Everything that I know that you can use to measure government, while I was in government, the people felt it. I won the best state with road network in this country by Federal Ministry of Works that is supposed to be in opposition. So I can go on and tell you what we were able to do. So for me, it is the people that I'm listening to. But I don't make comment unless it's from the people.
Right, I understand that. Now, you mentioned state capture at the beginning of our chat.
Which is huge corruption.
Yes, and you used the example of elections that have taken place in South Africa, Mexico, India, where the Electoral Commission is seen to be independent and has done the job that they were charged with doing. What would you do with the Electoral Commission in Nigeria?
Same thing. Insist that they do their work independently, and that democracy is what it should be if I have the opportunity. Charles, I've served as a governor. I never interfered with any institution. Go and ask those who were in the judiciary while I was there. Not one day did I interfere. Go and ask those who were in education like university. Not one day. Go and ask the police, the army, all securities, whether there's one day Peter Obi said, go and arrest this person or do this is wrong. In fact, when I was doing my second tenure, go and ask the security people that came to meet me, INEC, DSS, police, army, they came to meet me. And I told them, all I want is let all my votes be my vote. I don't want one extra vote that is not for me. And I don't want one of mine to be. Go ask anybody. My second
but if you say that
it was free and fair,
but if you say
that, I insisted.
If you say that the Electoral Commission is corrupt,
yes,
then the possibility of them being manipulated as a result of your non-interference remains.
No.
And so
no, if they know,
they want you
if they know that you're strict and you're going to do the right thing, just like I always say about corruption, that if the number one, number two, whether governor or president decides to stop it and is not involved, his children and family are not involved, wife are not involved, then you reduce it by over 50%. If you decide to do the right thing and order for the right thing, it will be done. We need to urgently audit the country's debts at national, sub-national level immediately. to know the quantum of the debts that we owe, because I believe that we don't have the exact size of the debt, know who and who we're owing, and most importantly, know what those debts were used for, or how they were contracted or sourced. Because the law says that all borrowing, all debts is supposed to be used for critical area of development. So where are the benefits of those debts to the people? Because the people are not going to pay it. Where is the benefit? This is time to do the audit and know what we are going through. So especially as we don't have not just presidential jet. Somebody was telling me about
a property in Liverpool.
Property in London
in Liverpool
being
seized
and put
for
auction. Somebody is telling me about another jet belonging to Nigeria in Canada and everything. This is time to deal with it, because sooner or later the problem will start seizing Nigerians. You issue your passport, you are arrested for being a debtor. So before it gets to the place where we can no longer move around as Nigerians without being arrested, let's know exactly what it is all about. Similarly, we need to audit now all our upfront sales of our oil, because the law says it must be used for critical, strategic, national issues. What did we use all these resources for?
And I'm glad you just talked on that oil situation. The fact that we have Dangote refinery seeking to process to have the federal government offer them a sale of oil so that they can be able to, based on the refinery being built. What is your position on the controversy that's going on regarding?
I've said it, it shouldn't have been. If there's anything we need to do today is to, as quickly as possible, ensure that the refinery gets all the crude they need.
So you feel that they should get all the crude they need?
Everything, as quickly as possible.
Why?
And that's why I said we must today. One of the trades we have on foreign exchange is importation of refined oil. So if we have something local that can help us manage that situation, we should have been very, very aggressive in ensuring that it's operational.
But that's before you build a refinery, Mr. Dangote, shouldn't he have consulted to ensure that
no, I will find that stage.
Okay.
I will supply to anybody who have a refinery today as quickly as possible. Thank you.
And it looks like we
Thank you very
have
much.
another question from Charles.
My name is His Royal Highness Charles Ebwe. His Excellency, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
My question is, as Nigerians, we know some of our problems. When you have large cost of governance, people in the Senate, people in the House of Rep, making millions of naira, even having newspapers allowance that nobody reads newspapers anymore nowadays, everything's online. I strongly believe that if Nigerian current government cannot control the expenditure of what they dish out to all the people representing us, we will continue to have difficulties in managing the affairs of the country. What do you think, as a former governor or as a potential aspirant, what should be the minimum salary for those people representing us in the House? Thank you.
Thank you very much. If you have followed me, Charles, you know I've been I don't know how to describe it, but a very, very, very campaigner of cutting the cost of governance, aggressively ensuring that it's reduced to minimum. And it's not just those who are in the house. From the executive, I've operated at that level as a governor, and I can tell you the cost of governance in Nigeria is not just irresponsible, it's criminal, because there's so much waste, and that you can drop to a very minimal level and have resources to deal with other issues. You can't just have people stay in one place, renovating houses, building palaces, buying planes, while abandoning critical areas of development. I just said yesterday, the #1 critical area of development is health. And you can't talk about health without talking about primary health care. If you look at the budget of our capital budget of our primary health care, because when you talk about budget, yes, what you put into the recurrent is to pay, but the capital side of it is what will allow you to build the necessary infrastructure. If you look at the capital component of our primary health care, which is the foundation of health, for 2024 is about 59 billion plus. If you look at the capital budget of all our teaching hospitals, from that of Ibadan, University of Ibadan, University of Lagos, University of Nigeria, Soka, Ahmadu Bello University, University of Jos, if you put all of them together, all the universities, which is this is your specialist teaching hospitals, where you can say that is where the best is. If you put their capital budget and primary care together, it is not up to the money we used to buy a new plane. That is where the problem is. The same thing goes to the National Assembly, where you have budgets like what I've mentioned, I think in my last year, you have a budget where we don't have a national library where people can go and have reference and everything. The budget for it this year is under 1 billion, but they have National Assembly Library for 15 billion, which the global is going to use. So for me, it is something you need to dismantle. And there are things I follow, and I read this and I know what is happening. So it's not about me, it's about if you're there, you have to come out and show this is the way to go. But it has to start with you, who is on the executive side, before you can tell other people to manage their own situation.
Thank you so much for that. Just a point of clarification, there is a link in the comment section for anyone who wants to ask questions. But I did see one question that I'd like to ask. I think it scrolled up, but what is your perspective on the current situation with Nnamdi Kanu and how he's been treated? Do you have any?
Well, I've always said about agitators that I will discuss about agitators. Whoever is agitating, whoever is protesting, I must discuss with the person, because there's nothing wrong in anybody, for me, agitating. There's nothing wrong in anybody protesting. There's nothing wrong if anybody even call me bad name, because if I expect the whole registered voters or the whole 200 million Nigerians to be in love with me, then I'm mad. There will be at least 40-50% who don't want to see my face. All I need to do is to continue to engage them to earn their own followership. You're a leader. the job of a leader is to every day work hard to find solutions to the problems of the people. Working hard every day to ensure that the people benefit from governance. In so doing, more and more people will want to love you, work with you, want you. You don't do that by leadership. It's about service, finding solutions. It's not about harassing people. It's not about throwing people into jail. Everybody saw it. As a governor, I can say it, no policeman, no military man, no security man will ever say, one day I asked him to do what is wrong, to arrest anybody, to do anything, because it's not necessary. There's so many people who disagree with me as governor, and they help me. When people disagree with me, they're helping you.
And that's going to my next question. How do you deal with criticism, and have you found anything valid in the criticism so far?
Whenever the job of a leader is to listen, the critical component of your leadership is listening and learning. If you can no longer listen and learn, you should not lead, because you don't know everything. You must be able, and you must also be able to know that from time to time you must go to the people to be able to evaluate what you're doing, because whatever you do as a leader is demand driven. It is you're doing what the people want. So if you go, it's like when they sell something in a shop, they say, if you don't like this, you return it to some place. Or if you find anything wrong, it's the same thing with politics. I'm doing something based on what the people demanded and everything, and be able to say quarterly, what did we do right and wrong, and listen to the people. As governor, we are doing quarterly review of all our activities and action for the 8 years I was in government, so that you know, and you will go to the people from time to time, and they do a town hall and they listen to you. And I believe that today, as president of Nigeria, quarterly or biannually, I go and leave Abuja, go to Kano and stay, go to Sokoto, anywhere and stay and say to the people, I want you to tell me whether we're on the right track or not. I want you to contribute how we can solve this problem.
Can you discuss a mentor or a figure who has significantly impacted your leadership style, your decision-making progress, your process? Who is that for you?
I look at countries and what countries are doing. For me, I don't go looking just at this figure or this figure. I look at the overall thing that countries are doing. So on one side, people who love their country above their own ambition. That is a very critical influence in all of us. I'm looking at it every day and said, wow, this is what it should be. I'm looking, of course, from Mandela to Gandhi to also, again, someone like Mandela, they were begged him to do a second term, which he said no. So you look at all these things, you look at where people were ready to do. They're not looking at their personal gain. They took decisions that were very difficult, like Margaret Thatcher did in UK, for the sake of her country. That this cannot continue. We cannot continue. He wasn't doing it when Margaret Thatcher was dismantling all those companies and privatizing them. He wasn't gaining it. We did privatization, and we're still going on doing it. But the fact that if you go and see those things that are privatized, they are like people were benefiting from them. It was a case of we were privatizing profit to people, and the companies are not doing good, so we're socializing losses.
Due to the Ogun State administration with state governor, Nigerian jets were seized overseas in France based on a situation with a Chinese company. Now, the state this is something that happened within the state government side, and is now affecting the presidential jets being seized. What is your position on that situation, and how is impacting the visual optics for Nigeria as a whole, as a country? And do you think it's fair that a state government did something and the federal government is now having to pay the price for it?
Well, for me, the first thing to say that what we are going through now is very, very shameful and very negative in terms of the perception of our country. And something needs to be done very quickly. And I have made my humble request is that we need to urgently audit the country's debts at national, sub-national level immediately, to know the quantum of the debts that we owe, because I believe that we don't have the exact size of the debts, know who and who we're owing, and most importantly, know what those debts were used for, or how they were contracted or sourced. Because the law says that all borrowing, all debts is supposed to be used for critical area of development. So where are the benefits of those debts to the people? Because the people are not going to pay it. Where is the benefit? This is time to do the audit and know what we are going through. So especially as we don't have not just presidential jet. Somebody was telling me about
a property in Liverpool.
Property in London,
in Liverpool,
being
seized
and put
for
auction. Somebody is telling me about another jet belonging to Nigeria in Canada and everything. This is time to deal with it, because sooner or later the problem will start seizing Nigerians. You issue your passport, you are arrested for being a debtor. So before it gets to the place where we can no longer move around as Nigerians without being arrested, let's know exactly what it is all about. Similarly, we need to audit now all our upfront sales of our oil, because the law says it must be used for critical, strategic, national issues. What did we use all these resources for?